It's time to talk about one of the greatest things in the world, and that is Disney Plus. And welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Maria. I felt like today's video would be very fitting due to the fact that because of the quarantine going on right now, so many of us have so much more time on our hands, which means we have plenty of time to be watching lots of content on Disney Plus. I truly believe that Disney Plus is one of the greatest creations ever. Honestly, I remember when I first downloaded it back in November, and I was just so blown away by all of my favorite shows and movies and original content all at my fingertips. It's every Disney fan's dream come true. So because so many of us have so much more time on our hands to be watching lots of content on Disney Plus, I thought it would be a great idea if I shared with you guys my top 5 list of Disney Plus originals. My list of favorite things to watch on Disney Plus is extremely long, but today I'm going to be talking about specifically Disney Plus originals, so that means it'll be content that was created specifically for Disney Plus and by Disney Plus. I hope that this list will give you some recommendations on what to add to your watch list. So without further ado, here's my list of my top 5 Disney Plus originals. To begin with, number 5 is Disney Insider. Disney Insider is a series that takes you behind the scenes of many different aspects and locations of the Walt Disney Company. I believe there are currently 5 episodes of the series, and they're just under 20 minutes long, and in each episode it takes you behind the scenes to 3 different areas of the Walt Disney Company. For example, in the first episode, I believe, you get to go behind the scenes at Pixar Studios and learn a bit about the making of the movie Onward. In a later episode, you get to learn a bit about the Walt Disney Archives. I found the show to be incredibly interesting because I really love learning about every single bit of the Walt Disney Company that I can. I am extremely interested in learning about the history of the Walt Disney Company as well as the inner workings of the company in the past, present, and future. So if you enjoy getting to learn about the Walt Disney Company as well as getting exclusive behind the scenes looks on Disney projects, I definitely recommend Disney Insider. Moving on to number 4 on my list is One Day at Disney. One Day at Disney is an hour-long documentary as well as a short mini-series about the life of Disney cast members. Speaking as a Disney cast member myself, as soon as I heard that Disney Plus was going to be making this documentary, my heart just swelled. Once the trailer released, it was constantly playing on our theater loop at Disney Store, and every time it played, it just made me so happy. You get to hear Bob Iger, who was the former Walt Disney Company CEO, talk about how important cast members are and how it's a team of people working to create magic. One of my most favorite Walt Disney quotes is, "You can design, create, and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it takes people to make the dream a reality." And I just think that One Day at Disney is so special because you get to hear from so many of those people who helped to make that dream a reality. Now, the only reason why One Day at Disney isn't higher on my list is because, unfortunately, I was just a little disappointed with it. Now, like I said, I was constantly watching the One Day at Disney trailer, and it gave me all the feels. But when I watched the actual documentary when it released, it wasn't really what I was expecting. I think I expected it to be a little more heartfelt. Like, I kind of expected it to be more about creating happiness and why cast members do what they do and why that magic is so important. But instead, it was more personal interviews from cast members about their personal experiences. And that was very interesting. I loved getting to hear their stories, but it didn't really move me emotionally as much as I thought it would. It was just more interesting to watch and learn about. And that's okay. It just wasn't what I was expecting. So yes, it's still a great watch. I highly recommend it if you're a cast member or you want to be a cast member someday, or even if you're just a big fan of the Walt Disney Company like I am, go give it a watch. Coming in at number 3 on my list is The Mandalorian. So I consider myself to be a Star Wars fan. I'm kind of a newbie, even though I've grown up with it. I like to say that I'm in no way near a super fan like my brother or my boyfriend, but I'm learning. I absolutely love The Mandalorian though. It was so epic. The story was so amazing. I loved all the characters. The child is, of course, absolutely adorable. But one thing that I thought was really good though was that even though I didn't know all the details of the Star Wars universe, I was still able to follow it along really easily. This is a really popular show, so I'm sure most people have seen it, but if you haven't yet, I really recommend it if you love action and adventure. It's a great show to binge watch. I know it's also been renewed for a season 2, so that's going to be great. So yes, Go watch The Mandalorian. Coming in at number 2 is another show that I absolutely love, and it is High School Musical, the series. I absolutely love this show. I was eagerly awaiting every new episode each week. I love listening to the songs on the album. I'm obsessed with all the characters. High School Musical is my favorite DCOM, and honestly, I was a little nervous when I heard about the show coming out, but I was so pleased with it. Whenever I recommend the show to people, I always say that it has the same heart as the original High School Musical movies. Like, the characters, there's so much diversity between them all, and I love all their different individual stories and their character growth, and they're all extremely talented kids. Something I really love about it though is, like I said before, the characters are very diverse. So for example, there are openly gay characters on the show. One of the main characters has 2 moms. For a show about high school students and growing up and figuring out who you want to be, I think it shows a lot of great representation and is definitely a really good step in the right direction for Disney. I definitely recommend it if you love Disney Channel or musicals, or are even just looking for something fun to watch that'll just make you happy. It's definitely a great show to binge watch, and it is getting renewed for season 2. It's just such a good show. Give it a chance, watch a couple episodes, and I'm sure you're gonna be obsessed just like me. I'm eagerly awaiting season 2, so you all have to wait with me. Coming in at number 1 on my list of Disney Plus originals is one that I'm sure you've probably guessed by now, and that is The Imagineering Story. The Imagineering Story is quite possibly my favorite show ever created. The Imagineering Story is a 6-part documentary series that follows the history of the Walt Disney Imagineering Design Company. In case you've never heard of Walt Disney Imagineering before, the Disney Imagineers are the people who design and create the Disney parks. Like I said before, I absolutely love learning everything about the history of the Walt Disney Company, especially the Disney parks. It was incredibly interesting to me getting to hear from Imagineers. You get to learn so much history of the parks, from Walt Disney's creation of Disneyland in 1955 all the way leading up to the opening of Shanghai Disneyland in 2016. In the last episode, you even get to learn a little bit about the future of Disney Imagineering, such as with the Marvel expansion that is coming to Disneyland soon. So like I said, it is incredibly interesting to me getting to learn so much about the history of the Walt Disney Company and Disney Imagineering, but why I love the Imagineering Story is so much more than that. The heart of the story that it tells captures and explains perfectly why I do what I do as a cast member and why I've always wanted to be a cast member. Throughout the whole history of Walt Disney Imagineering, each of the Imagineers talk about how they are creating happiness. They are creating memories and magic for years and years to come. And like I said before, Walt Disney said it takes people to make the dream a reality, and my whole life, I've just wanted so badly to be a part of that dream. Getting to learn about how the Imagineers just put so much thought and effort and magic and heart and soul into the places that I call home and I know I belong. It's pure magic. Like I said, the show does go in chronological order, so it does begin with the creation of Disneyland in 1955, but the first episode does end with Walt Disney passing away. I'm not exaggerating to you guys when I say the first time and even the second time I watched that first episode, I was sobbing like I hadn't in a long time. You get to hear from so many people about how much Walt meant to them, and you realize, possibly even more than you did before, just how much Walt meant to the world and how big of an impact he had. And I just started sobbing. I mean, I've said in past videos that I wouldn't be who I am without Walt. He gave me my dream, and that makes up so much of who I am as a person, and I owe so much to him. The Imagineering Story is just absolutely incredibly beautiful. If you're interested in the history of the Disney parks and the Walt Disney Company and Disney Imagineering, I cannot recommend it enough to you. It's just such a beautiful show, and it just perfectly captures the Disney magic and why the Disney parks and Disney magic means so much to people all over the world. I really hope that they make more episodes in the future, and the best part about a show like this is that they definitely can. Like Walt Disney said about Disneyland, it'll never be completed as long as there is imagination in the world. All of the Disney parks will never be completed, which means the Imagineers have years to explore their imaginations and see what comes next. I absolutely love this show with my whole heart. I cannot recommend it anymore. Please go watch it, and I hope you'll love it too. So that was my top 5 list of Disney Plus originals. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing them. I'm so excited for all the Disney Plus original content that's coming in the future. I'm especially excited for all the Marvel content that's coming. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more Disney videos in the future. Please let me know your favorite Disney Plus originals. I'd love to discuss with you. And until my next video, I wish you all a magical day, and I'll see you real soon. Bye!